everybody. It is the Paul Rodriguez Show. Caught me off guard real quick. I was reading into a story we will definitely be talking about today, Monday, July 20. No, June, man. I guess I'm ready for training camp for the NFL. I think that's really what I guess we're just going to be getting into as soon as we can move forward. But it is Monday. Producer James, we are starting at our new time. Little housekeeping notes. We will be off next week just to enjoy a little bit of a break. We're also going to be celebrating the independence of our nation. And also, hopefully, not too much news will be breaking during next week, but definitely something we'll be talking about today. Getting into it, folks, I think we all need to just really understand you can't keep talking shit to people at basketball games anymore or for sporting events anymore because people just have too much pent-up anger after being cooped up during COVID the whole time. So I know everybody saw the Suns melee that occurred for the second time at the Suns Arena. We'll get into a little bit of that a little bit later. But the biggest news coming out today was the Supreme Court voting against the NCAA in the antitrust lawsuit in a unanimous 9-0 decision led by Justice Neil Gorsuch, basically indicating that all of the rules that the lower courts left are going to, let's go ahead and read quote for quote. Gorsuch's opinion noted that the lower court's ruling left in place the NCAA's ability to, quote unquote, forbid in-kind benefits unrelated to the student's actual education, end quote. However, he also wrote to the extent that the NCAA, quote unquote, means to propose a sort of judiciary ordained immunity from the terms of, in parentheses, antitrust law for the restraints of trade that we should overlook its restrictions because they all happen to fall at the intersection of higher education, sports, and money. We cannot agree, end quote. Well, what the hell does all that mean? Well, that basically just means that anything that the student athletes were receiving, like laptops or food or clothing or dorm, once they're not students anymore, they need to be able to continue to have. The other part of this is that the name, image, and likeness abilities to be sold to, I guess, the highest bidder for these student athletes will be occurring for 6 states on July 1st, 2021. We'll get in and name those states pretty shortly, but if you're going to think about your favorite football teams in your favorite states, you probably already can say, I would assume 2 of them. Most people in Texas already know about one because Governor Abbott did sign that legislation last week to kind of get this ball moving. As we continue to move forward in this storyline, we heard what happened last week with Arizona State, and more details are coming out with that instance. Well, what's the point of those 2 stories being put together? The recruiting aspect. You're going to have states that are going to be left behind or slow to move forward with the ability to have name, image, and likeness available to their student athletes, which potentially could inhibit the recruiting aspect of, those schools that are going to be affected who happen to reside in those states. Right now, I think the top states that are going to be moving forward July 1st are going to be Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, Florida, and Texas, and I believe there's one more off the top of my head. It just completely escaped me. But what's the point? The point is that these young people can start to make money off of their name, image, and likeness as they see fit as we begin the fall football season. What's going on over there, producer James?
Thinking of the keywords to type on how.
Just type in name, image, likeness, or just do NIL. So, getting back to the point, this is a great opportunity. This is a great win for the student athletes who have, habitually and routinely and historically been taken advantage of these multi-billion-dollar, I guess, universities. And it wasn't multi-billion dollars until probably the last 20 years. But at the same time, you have so many people who are going to be, their funding is going to be cut. Not to be a smartass about it, but these people at the very top of the NCAA, Mark Emmert, who by happenstance just had his contract renewed for tens of millions of dollars, And I really think that he is basically the punching bag for all the presidents of the United States, of the universities in the United States. So the point is since the president's not to take the lumps, Mark Emmert's going to take the lumps. But Mark Emmert is also going to be the clown that everybody's going to go ahead and make fun of due to the fact that the power that the NCAA is having over their quote-unquote amateurism, I guess, golden shield to not allow student athletes to make money off their name and image or likeness is going out the door via the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court is also shaping up any other type of hearings that anybody would like to bring forth to them. They're willing and openly going to hear those as soon as, that appeal or as soon as that legislation gets brought to them. I'm looking forward to seeing if this is going to be executed nationwide and how rapidly it would be executed nationwide. But until then, it's going to be a state by state kind of instance. So it's going to be fun. But for everybody in Texas, if you have a student athlete in Texas, they'll be able to make some money off their name here in the next week. I just don't know. I'm more curious, how is this going to help a big university compared to, like a small university? We've talked about this on the other show for Recon I used to be on, and we would say, how does this impact a player going to Texas compared to going to, let's say, I don't want to use the same school we used back then. Let's say, for instance, you have a school like at Lamar. You have Lamar University, and then you have, which is a FCS school, and then you have the University of Texas. Most likely, if you go to Texas, you're probably going to make more money off of your name, image, and likeness due to the fact that you're wearing the burnt orange compared to Lamar. But what if you're a star player at Lamar and you're going to be third string at Texas for 2 years? Are you going to be able to recoup, or not recoup, but are you going to be able to earn that much money as quickly as you would if you were maybe a bigger fish in a smaller pond? We're going to see that. We're going to get to watch that happen as we move forward with name, image, and likeness. That was my phone that was going off. So unprofessional.
So you gave me a look. I was like, is that me?
No, it was me. I remember that I had turned on my ringer for there was any kind of emergencies going on. What is your kind of feel? Do you have a feel for what's going on now? I was listening to Deion Sanders. He had his big camp last night at Jackson, and he brought out all the big NFL players, former players. T.O. was out there trying to run routes and trying to, turn into a man camp out there with old NFL players. Deion already said that he has his players ready to go now that Mississippi – that's where Jackson's located. Jackson State University is in Mississippi. He said his offensive linemen have truck deals with Chevrolet at that Chevrolet dealership ready to go as soon as July 1st comes. And it's like, what other schools are having that type of relationship with their student athletes? How are they helping, or how are they assisting, or how are they navigating these waters for their student athletes? Maybe something how like Deion Sanders is doing at Jackson. That could also go into recruiting. It's like we have, and the big schools are going to have specialists. We have coordinators who can guide you into these channels to make the money you want to make. But for Prime to say, my D-line and O-line, they have deals ready to go as soon as July 1st comes for new trucks, which is ridiculous. You probably don't have much, but now you can say, I'm a Jackson State offensive lineman, and I got a new Chevrolet. I got a new truck. I have a vehicle I can fit in. Yeah. I have a vehicle I can take home or, move stuff around if I have family who need to move stuff around, in addition to whatever types of, deals they're going to be recouping through the other parts of the community or in the state, just because of how many eyes are going to be on Jackson State moving forward.
I feel like I'm just like, man, me personally, I'm like, it's about time. Don't you think?
It's been time. Yeah, for sure.
So, I think it's good. You go to these schools and you'll be able to, make some money while you're also, out there playing football and all of that stuff.
You'll be able to
as a college athlete.
You'll be able to make clean, legitimate money off of who you are as a player.
Yeah.
And I think the NCAA loves that word amateurism. Well, what the hell does that even mean? Oh, well, they get a stipend, they get room, they get board, they get food, they get an education and all that. And it's like, yeah, that's great. What are you getting as the university, as the president, as the governing body of the league? What are y'all getting? Because the last time I checked, y'all are in cahoots with ESPN and Fox Sports and NBC for that's just all those networks because they're covering all the universities. Y'all are in cahoots not cahoots, but y'all are in dealings with multi-billion-dollar TV deals with these leagues. Meanwhile, players over here trying to live off a $2,000 stipend when they're probably sending $1,500 of that back home because they probably come from a lower socioeconomical status. In the meantime, they could be making six figures off their name, image, and likeness in the community, giving back to the community or representing your school in the community in a positive way, rather than having to go do God knows what just to make a little extra more money.
Yeah.
It just makes more sense if you're getting treated if you're being coveted as a professional athlete, that's probably the better word to use. If you're being coveted as a professional athlete, you should be able to make money off of whose name is on the back of that jersey. And it shouldn't just be solely the university.
For sure.
It just really shouldn't. And I think I know a lot of people used to be like, well, they get all this for free. It's like, okay, what do they get? They may go away from home. They may go to this new place. They may go sacrifice their entire mornings to go train and work out and go to class and then come back and then go to film and then go practice. And in the meantime, they don't have the ability to probably have a more traditional student athlete lifestyle. And I think that's another thing we're going to have to start getting away from is there's the term student athlete is probably going to go away as well. You kind of just have to say it that way. It's like, yeah, I'm an athlete who's a student. That's kind of what it's turning into. But it's like, hey, do you want the responsibility to be able to make as much money as you want off of your name? Or do you want to have the amateurism title put in front of you and block your earning potential?
Yeah.
So I think that's really where those types of terms are going to slowly be manipulated. Or not manipulated, but slowly be phased out. Especially amateurism. Amateurism is slowly going to probably be at the high school level now.
What's the argument against, that ruling?
I don't really think there is one. I think if you if I were to try, I think you would hear the lie in my voice. You would be like, you're not even believing what you're saying. If I really tried, you'd be like, you don't even believe what you're saying. Why are you going to try to tell that to us? Maybe 50 years ago, maybe 40 years ago, maybe that was a thing, because the TV deals weren't what they are today. There wasn't an EA NCAA video game that had to stop production because they didn't want to pay anybody off of their name, image, and likeness when this all began, when those lawsuits all started becoming more prevalent. And, some people can say, oh, well, the players have too much power. The players have too much power. It's like, well, nobody had a problem when all the executives and administrators had all the power. Nobody had a problem then. You still watched your football. Now the only difference is those players who are out there who, if you haven't seen football in the past 20 years, we have seen literally people tear their knee on the field. We've literally seen people go paralyzed in college football on the field multiple times. And so if you're telling me they can't go risk their life and their future because those people who were nearly paralyzed they don't get to have the same lifestyle if they were to finish their amateurism in college sports and then go be productive somewhere else. They lost that ability when they were playing football for their university, while the university was making multiple millions of dollars off of the play that's on the football field.
Yep.
But see, when you start talking about it like that, people are like, I don't want to hear that. Just give me my football, give me my beer, and give me my nachos and wings and keep it there. Change is hard. I get it. But what's ethical and what's not ethical? I think it's ethical for the players who are putting their livelihood, not their livelihood, but for them to put their lives on the line, their life, their health. And then you can say, oh, well, that's their choice. Sure it is. Sure, you better believe it is their choice. But now there's a market, and the market is saying there's a value for them to do that. That's the difference.
I remember when I first learned about that, playing that NCAA when I was little. And I was like, oh, why doesn't Vince Young, why doesn't it say his name? Because, I wanted to play as Vince Young. Yeah. And, of course, it looks like him, but it just says number 10.
Right.
And then you go and, you do your research and you find out why. And I was like, oh, that's pretty fucked up, but whatever.
It is what it is, and it's slowly changing, and it's going to be a quick, I don't want to say a quick downfall, but I think it'll definitely be a quick adjustment for, I think, those individuals who are used to having unilateral control over the rules, and now that these rules are going to be changing, they're going to be more hands off, because we've talked about last week. We talked about how the leadership of the NCAA is, when everything is going good, great, and grand, they want to take their pictures and shake their hands. And when it's not, they want to, in a pseudo way, hide underneath their desk, like the tornado's coming. So, what do? Well, somebody decided to take action, and here we are with, we have a 9-0 unanimous Supreme Court decision, ruling against the NCAA in this antitrust lawsuit. And I think there's more to come. There's going to be a lot more coming. The rules are going to be different for a lot of people. And I think it's going to be for both boys and girls sports. So it's not just, everybody thinks about, we just talk about football. Why? Well, because football moves the needle. But this is also going to impact female sports as well. Just so everybody has a really good, clear understanding.
You telling me they're going to have equivalent female and male weight room at the NCAA basketball tournament next year?
I don't know about that.
That was a major story.
Yeah, I remember that kind of going on, and my whole thing is like, well, who was responsible? Like, who was responsible for the logistics? Like, who was running the project? I'm pretty sure more resources were probably put into the male sports, because male sports probably brings in more ad dollars, more dollars compared to the female sports. But at the same time, it's like, if the female sports are requiring a certain level of accommodation, then that's the responsibility of the people who were handling the project. Because I'm pretty sure the same people weren't handling 2 different projects in 2 different states across the United States at the NCAA. But do you see where I'm saying, where the leadership is just not quite there when it comes to the NCAA level? Mm-hmm. If you go to the football side of it, the NCAA has nothing to do with the football side. They just have this governing umbrella. Like, oh, you got to stay in these rules, amateurism, blah, blah, blah. But the leagues, that's why the leagues are so powerful with the TV deals, because the TV deals go straight to the league. They don't go to the NCAA. That's why the March Madness, the males March Madness, that funds the entire budget for the NCAA for the whole year, for their fiscal year. The NCAA doesn't get any money from the football. That's why it's like, well, y'all are going to go do your own thing and play football and blah, blah, blah. So stay at the kitchen, basically. But yeah, that's if you want to know why didn't they get a fair shake? It's who was running the project, who maybe didn't have the same resources, or maybe same knowledge, or maybe have the same connections, or maybe had the same whatever. And then it's like, oh, well, it's equality, Title IX, and blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, I agree with you. Who was running the project with the NCAA? Y'all want to blame, society. Oh, society didn't treat the women right. No, the people managing the project didn't treat the women right at the NCAA. Well, nobody wants to point the finger over there. No, the NCAA is benevolent. They would never do anything wrong. They do everything right. Yeah, okay. Believe that if you want to. Ask the people who are, basically not getting their school supplies whenever they were dropped from, the football team or the baseball team or the volleyball team. Ask them. All right, guys, we'll go back to a break and get all fired up real quick. I'm already getting hot, sweating over here. So 8:24. I keep forgetting we're starting at 8 o'clock now. We'll be back in about 4 minutes, maybe even 6. Welcome back, everybody. It is the Paul Rodriguez Show coming out of Studio 44. I forgot to ask you how your weekend was, man. What did you get into? How was Father's Day? It was yesterday. Did you fire up the grill? Would you cook? What happened?
Nah, man.
Slept?
No, we went to eat in San Marcos.
Okay.
We went and ate some Mexican food, and then I got home and I really worked all weekend, man. I was pretty exhausted, so I kind of just chilled out when we got back.
Where'd you go eat?
This place called Chewy's in San Marcos.
Yeah.
It was my first time. It was all of our first time there, so yeah, it was good. I liked it.
Do you like ranch?
What do you mean, like ranch?
Yeah, like ranch dip.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, they have a jalapeno ranch dip.
Ooh.
Dude, it's crack. With their tortilla chips.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good.
I wasn't aware of that.
It's what the kids are saying. It's bussin'. It's bussin'.
Yeah, I work with I work with a bunch of young kids.
I was trying to make fun of the ones you have.
Oh, okay.
At the house.
Well, these are like.
So all you're hearing is like she like all day long.
I'm hearing some pretty. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to be that old man. It's like, oh, you young folks, you're
like Papi Manino, like that,
some shit like that.
Yeah, that dumb shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. Like, how was Father's Day?
It was good. Spending it with the family, and we went to eat and all that. Just enjoyed some time.
They let you rest.
Yeah.
Good, man.
For sure.
Good.
For sure.
I know you're doing like triple duties now. Triple time.
Busy man these days.
Just hung out with Papa Romeo. We out there just, watching golf. Shout out to John Ram. I mean, is it John Ram? I think it's John Ram. He won the 121st U.S. Open yesterday. He was the guy who 2 weeks ago had COVID, had to get like dismissed from the third round of the tournament.
Yeah.
So yeah, he got his 2.2 million back. So he also took over the number one place in the world ranking. So shout out to Ram, the Spaniard. He also has a newborn baby boy, I think.
He said he won it on his first Father's Day.
Yeah, it was his first Father's Day. That's
nice.
Right. And dude, he put in a 25-foot putt. He was, with the bend in the break. Dude, I was like, right on, man. That was a hell of a putt. Saturday, dude, I watched the UFC fight night.
Uh-huh.
It blew out 263.
Oh, damn.
I sent y'all the knockouts.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
I sent y'all I was like, it was 5 fights in the main card and 4 knockouts and 1 almost submission. The 5th one should have been a submission, but the dude got out. I was like, dude, this is a card right here. Dudes were hungry.
Are usually like the very good ones.
But that's what we were talking about. We weren't supposed to get on UFC yet. I was going to wait. Let's pause UFC. I want to talk about the end. But getting into fighting spirit. Look, man, y'all need to stop running your mouths at these sporting events because y'all will catch these hands. People don't care anymore. Everybody's used to talking all that shit on Twitter, all that ish on Facebook. Well, now you're in the real world and you're a couple beers deep. And apparently these dudes in Phoenix don't give a damn. Everybody remembers the Suns and 4 dude when he tried to get sucker punched, then had to put those hooks on that dude. Well, this time, another incident, but this time with the Los Angeles Clippers fans. And another brawl breaks out. Hands get thrown, kicks get thrown, melee occurs. And then finally they were able to get it kind of controlled. But my question is like, where's the police at, man? They're like, we ain't worried about this nonsense kicking off, literally kicking off. It kind of gets quelled up right there and everybody kind of pulls each other off. But y'all need to see, I mean, what's in the shots?
Yeah.
What's in the water? Is it the shots or is it the water?
Dude, I just can't picture myself getting into a brawl like that at a sporting event. You know what I mean? I'm there in Dallas in my Rogers jersey. Fuck you, man.
You're like that dude in that meme where it's like the Cowboys are just scored and there's like a minute 28 and there's the dude with the Rodgers stash and his jersey's like, they don't know Aaron Rodgers is coming out.
Yeah, if I try to do that, I'd probably just get sucker punched from behind.
Nah, the Cowboys fans, they talk a lot of ish, but they know that they haven't won anything forever in a day. So it doesn't. They're like, what are they going to do? They can talk all day long, and then if somebody gets hurt, they just cry their eyes out. And we've seen that to be history.
There's a lot of over there at work. There's a lot of people with like sport fans, you know.
Right.
So I like to chat with them, you know, and stuff. There was this dude. He went in there with a Suns jersey. And I was like, hey, man. And, he looked over. I was like, Suns in 4. And he's like, yeah, man.
Be like, I'm going to watch out for you. I'm going to keep my eyes on you. Where we start knowing nothing over here. Well, it's like, got to watch out for people in Dodgers jerseys and Astros jerseys, San Diego Padres jerseys, Phoenix jerseys. Clippers jerseys, Nuggets jerseys. I don't know, man. People just cooped up. It has to be that. Everybody was on lockdown for 18 months.
Now they don't know how to act.
They ain't got no act right. They ain't got no act right. Come on, y'all.
Yeah.
Shit. All right, let's pivot over to the NFL. Tea leaves, people. We're counting tea leaves in the NFL because nothing's really going on. Aaron Rodgers renewed his golf membership to his country club for the year. Well, I knew you might scoff at it.
You were right. You were 100% right.
I thought you might scoff at it. The reason being is that when I heard it this morning, I scoffed too. I'm like, so the hell what? But I did not know this part. Apparently, there's only good weather for golfing in the months of July, August, and September. Well, what happens in those 3 months? Training camp, preseason, and the beginning of the season. So I could assume people are playing golf right now. People are going to be playing golf in July. People are going to be playing golf in August. Well, if you're going to have a country club membership and you paid for the year, something's you're either trolling hard or something's there. I don't know. I mean, something.
Time will tell.
I'm just saying, like remember what we said. We got to just buy the rumor and sell the story. Well, the rumor is he might come back. So I think that's what we got to, slowly easing into July. If he's there at training camp, if he's back in July, then everything's fine. Packers will go back to the second best team in the NFC, just above the Dallas Cowboys. Because right now, in my opinion, the Dallas Cowboys are the second best team in the NFC. And then, it's right up there. It's the Bucks, the Cowboys, Packers with Aaron Rodgers, and the Los Angeles Rams, right in the top four, right in there. They're going to be fluid, everybody except the Bucks. So if the Packers are back with Rodgers, straight to number 2, solid 2.
Yeah, I agree.
No question asked. And then LA and Dallas can fight for 3rd and 4th. But you don't you think it's an right now for the country club?
I don't give a fuck.
Dude, have you seen that country club?
No.
It's pretty pristine. You got to think about it. It's got to be really damn nice for 2 reasons. 1, it's probably highly exclusive, and then 3, as much snow as they get, the course has to be green as green can be. And apparently they put the logo on some of the greens.
What is it called?
Yeah, that's how exclusive it is. I don't know. I would just say Aaron Rodgers Country Club. That's what I would search. But as far as I know, that's the latest news for him. I don't know if that's going to...
Green Bay Country Club.
Green Bay. Okay. Hey, how original. How original, Wisconsin. You should just called it Cheese... Royale with Cheese Country Club. I don't know.
Let's get a look at this.
This thing is probably... What do you think these country club dues are? 50, 60 grand? I would think.
Let's see. Price. Annual.
Oh, they're not going to tell you that.
No?
Not when you're on images.
Membership.
It's probably one of those things where, what does that say?
Members pay about $2,700 per year in dues for dining and social memberships.
Okay.
And can upgrade to higher tiers of membership.
So Aaron probably has the highest tier, but if you're starting at $2,700, yeah. What Aaron, this is your tax accountant. We need you to have a deduction in Green Bay so we can go ahead and get a write-off for some of the income you have in the state of Wisconsin. Okay, great. Yeah, I'm going to do my country club dues, and let's have that as a write-off. Okay, that's what I could see right there. Tea leaves. Hey, man, we got to read something.
Sure.
There's nothing really going on.
Um, I got some fighting news.
Yeah. Let's see real quick. What fighting news in what capacity?
Just Anderson Silva. He had a boxing
Yeah,
match.
let's talk about that real quick. I heard about that, but I had the same, whatever,
Yeah.
because of who he fought.
Yeah, I didn't. So I didn't even know until surfing the web, and I saw that yeah, he fought was it Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.?
Yeah, Chavez.
I didn't even see it. And I didn't even know it was gonna happen. That's how I was like, what the fuck? I didn't even know. But apparently he looked pretty good.
Yeah.
And he won, of course. But I'm like, dude, like,
but it was an exhibition, or it was a sanctioned fight.
Yeah.
I thought it was an exhibition.
I think it was it was an actual fight because there was refs and all that.
Let's put it this way: I have a boxing schedule. It didn't even show up because what I watched for Saturday was at 2 p.m. at 2:30 on DAZN. Jaime Munguia fought. I forgot what his name was. Anyways, and then of course Munguia dominated that fight. And then at 6 o'clock, I watched the UFCs, which was awesome. And then at 9:30, because the UFCs was over so early, at 9:30 I started watching Jermall Charlo versus Montiel, which was an excellent fight. Before that, it was Fernando Vargas and Isaac Chavez. And that Isaac Chavez fight was ridiculously good. And so this stuff wasn't even on my radar for the Spider. But apparently, like, some of the hardcore MMA guys, like, they knew about it. I didn't know.
So it says here the bout was contested at 182 pounds, 8 3-minute rounds. Chavez Jr. actually missed weight by 2.4 pounds Friday, forfeiting $100,000 of his purse to Silva. The event was dubbed Tribute to the Kings, with the headliner pinning Chavez Sr. against Hector Camacho Jr., the son of his biggest rival, in an exhibition boxing match. What's a lot of these exhibitions? I think they seen everyone else are like, oh, I can go do that.
But Chavez Jr. is dude.
Oh yeah, I've seen some of his fights.
Like it's almost like it's. I'm gonna say it. I don't care. It's like his father's embarrassed of him being a boxer.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's more of like, son, you're not good enough to compete. Like, you don't need to do this anymore. But I think at the same time, like, Chavez Jr. is like fighting for his father's approval in the boxing world, and so that's why he keeps doing these just nonsense stunts. Do you remember I mentioned Graham Bessinger? He does like the interviews of all these like big pro athletes on YouTube.
Yeah, I think.
So Graham interviewed Canelo, and Canelo was showing Graham all of his big, I guess their memorabilia from his biggest fights, and he was like, "Oh yeah, this one was Chavez Jr." And Graham was like, "Oh, that was a tough fight." And he goes, "Oh no, very easy, very very easy." I was like, "Well, that just lets me know how good Chavez Jr. was, especially when he's just getting like dominated by these other non-boxers."
AJ says him and Ryan are watching.
What up, fellas?
We're watching you and Paul.
Let's get a break real quick. 45 minutes after the hour. When we come back, wrap it up with the UFC and then Peaky Blinders. We're back. Welcome back, everybody. It is the Paul Rodriguez Show. Let's get into the UFC this past weekend. I'm not going to know the names, but I am going to talk about the devastating knockouts that all of these men were distributing to each other on that night. But I think the main fight was the Korean Zombie versus Dan Ige, I believe. And that was a really well contested fight. I mean, of course, everybody knows the name, the Korean Zombie. And then I think there was a couple of – was there a heavyweight fight in there?
Yeah, co-main.
Yeah. What was that?
Alexei Olenek versus Sergey Spivak.
Yeah, so Spivak won that fight, but Alexei Olenek was in there, like, seriously trying to submit. And those were two, like, huge human beings, like monsters of men. But the bigger heavyweight was able to kind of like survive the onslaught, but it was a ground and pound. That was the only match that didn't really go for the knockout, but all those other ones you see there were just killer knockouts.
Yeah, I was unaware that Matt Brown fought.
Yeah.
Welterweight. Yeah, he's like a guaranteed KO.
For real?
He's like he's a tough fighter.
Yeah,
he actually, so he had said that he was going to retire. And so his final fight was supposed to be against Diego Sanchez. If you ever get a chance, go watch that one.
Okay.
And just keep in mind the whole fight. Remember, it's supposed to be his last fight, and it's a very, very spectacular fight.
So he wins.
Yeah.
So he has these two back-to-back wins of knockouts.
Well, no, he ended up. So he retired after that, and rode off into the sunset on a high horse. But then he ended up coming back, and he hasn't missed a beat. He's a good fighter.
And then what was that? What were those other two fights?
Middleweight Wellington Turman versus Bruno Silva, which Bruno Silva won KO first round.
Yeah, those are nasty.
And then Julian Erosa versus Choi Seong Woo, KO round 1, minute and 37 seconds in. That was fast, huh?
Yeah, they were fun. It was kind of because you kind of like you were getting into the fight and then boom, like what? It's like, dude, we just started this fight. Like we just got into this. And then that main fight, the Korean Zombie, I thought was a really good match because he's been around for like ever, right?
Yeah.
He's a well-known name.
Yeah, he actually left for, I think, like 3 years to go serve in like the Korean Army or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he did some time, in the military over there, and then he came back. And
yeah, the other Asian dude, he was Korean also, South Korean.
Okay.
So Korea stand up. They're representing that night, Saturday. And then I was thinking, July's coming up, right?
Yeah.
Conor McGregor, Poirier 3.
That's like, what, 2-3 weeks away?
It's 3 weeks away.
3 weeks away.
And then a month away is Fury Wilder 3. I mean, there's going to be some big stuff going on in July. And then there's also another fight. I think there's a fight in San Antonio. I think it's it's another Charlo fight for the title. It's the other brother. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but there's like there's 2 big boxing events in July, and then of course UFC 264 in that's in Vegas.
Yep, in Las Vegas, Nevada.
July 10th.
The UFC's return to Vegas.
You think it's gonna be ridiculous?
I hope so.
But no, like the undercard and all that kind of stuff.
Should be good. Let's see what they got lined up real quick.
You really haven't seen too much kind of go out there. Last night I watched I guess it was like a documentary, The Rise of Rose Namajunas. Dude, that was it was basically it picked up where it went from 251 to 261. That whole journey in between there, like when she lost her title and then the rise of Yang Wei Li, and then she comes in and then does her thing.
Yeah. Yeah, they got a pretty good card put together. So we got starting with the main card, the first fight is Sean O'Malley.
He's growing on me. He's just I just think I want to see him fight better competition. I think that's his biggest hiccup so far is like the hair, the persona. Like he's YouTube through and through, right? He's a YouTube guy. But he's also like a devastating UFC fighter at the same time. But I want to see him like go up in class and, start getting, I think he wants the title. He was on McAfee's show, I think last week, but I think he needs to I'm not blaming him. I'm saying the UFC needs to put a better opponent in front of him just to get him a jump. Like, I think he could be fighting for a title in like a year and a half, 2 years if they let him fight quality opponents.
Yeah, he's fight. Man, I don't even see that guy.
He's not even ranked, right?
No, the guy.
But the dude has like walk-off knockouts like out of a lot of his fights. And it's not like he has a history of like losing. He only has like what, 2 losses, 1 loss?
Sean O'Malley, he has 1 loss.
Yeah.
And I think that's when he got an injury. He like messed his leg up.
Oh, yeah. That's right. That's what I'm saying. This dude needs to go. The UFC needs to take care of this guy. Because he can talk that shit. He has the look. He's young. And I think he's motivated. Like, he's hungry to go, like, do some damage on folks. For sure. Yeah. Especially when you're having, like, don't get me wrong. Everybody loves George, Jorge. Everybody loves Nate. But they've taken L's. And if Conor does the same thing again, that's 2 L's back to back. It's like, can we get some fresh blood at the top? Let those guys start to get a taste, like, go into those deeper waters with these, people have been there, these veterans, these champions.
I'll bring in Jordan Love.
Jordan Love? I don't get it.
Just how, just talking
go
about.
Go Jordan, go.
Taking L's and, bringing in.
Go Jordan, go.
Some fresh blood.
I'm going to wait for you to hear that chant. Go Jordan, go. Go Jordan, go.
As long as he's in a Packers uniform, I'm with it.
Oh, yeah. I ain't heard you cheer him once now. You're just waiting for Aaron.
I'm waiting for week 1, man.
Aaron, please come back. We'll be in there just supporting you. Thank you very much. We'll do whatever we can. We'll make sure Good to Coons goes and treats you right.
Goody, man.
Little Goot.
I'm waiting to see who's there week 1. Hey, but whoever's there, it's Go Pack Go.
Yeah. It's not Go Iron Go. It's Go Pack Go.
It's always been Go Pack Go.
Man, come on, man. Who's next on the list?
Irene Aldana versus Yana Kunitz. No, I'm just kidding.
Jan
Kunitskaya.
Jan
Kunitz. Yeah. Heavyweight Tai Tuvasa versus Greg Hardy.
That should be a good fight.
Yeah, it should be. If this is the guy I'm thinking of, hard hitter. Of course, Greg Hardy.
They're both going to be
well. Yeah, that's going to be a good heavyweight. Welterweight, co-main. We got Gilbert Burns versus Stephen Thompson.
Wonder Boy.
Yeah, that's going to be a very good one. And, of course, the main event, Dustin Poirier versus Conor McGregor. The third fight, which they are currently at 1-1 each with a knockout.
That's what I'm saying. I think those top 3 fights, we could have 3 knockouts. If everybody goes and competes the way they're supposed to, we should have 3 knockouts in those top 3 fights.
Headlining the preliminary card, we have Carlos Condit fighting Max Griffin. Carlos Condit, a former welterweight champion.
Okay.
Yeah. Should be some good fights. It looks like they got a pretty good card.
I just hope they just formulate the main card as well as they do the undercard, because we all know that the young undercard, they're more hungry, but the main card, you got to make sure the people get what they pay for. I mean, let's not turn into boxing.
Yeah. No, fuck no.
Please don't do that. All right, man. What are we leaving the folks with before we get out of here?
We're leaving the folks with come back and see us tomorrow.
Hasta mañanas. Any new shows? Anything different? Anything new? You probably don't have time anymore.
Nah, man. I did watch episode 1 of that Loki.
Okay, how'd that go?
It's good. It's really good.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it's got Owen Wilson in there.
Yeah. It's like, dude, Wedding Crashers is over. Like, I mean, you were great there. You and Vince had a great time.
Hey, you see that Austin FC? They had that like their first. They like opened up the stadium, right?
The inaugural match.
Yeah. Jason Delgado of Pops and Shots was over there.
Word.
He's like trying to get into, or not trying to. He's like into soccer now, and he's all into Austin FC. And
is he watching the Euros?
I don't know.
I know they did it. They released another episode.
Yeah, today he was over there. I think it was Saturday.
Yep.
And Matthew McConaughey was over there beating on the drum. I watched videos of it. I don't know if you've seen that.
Dude, did you see his get up?
Yeah.
Dude, did you see my stories? Yeah. I said, we need to cast the Minister of Cultura as the next Riddler. Because he had on that black shirt with the green suit with the pinstripe, lapel. The lapel. Dude, I was like, dude, he looks like the Riddler. With the long hair, with the sunglasses. That's a 2021 Riddler right there. Just saying.
I'd be with it.
Warner Brothers, I'll let your boy get this casting done. But yeah, man, shout out to Pops and Shots. Come on, fellas, we need that camera view, bro. Yeah. Listen, big body can't stop me. I don't care what you got that insecurity. Holler at your boy. We'll get it done. Set you up the right angles. Make you look pretty. I'm just saying. Get a camera. All right. I tried to start Peaky Blinders. That failed. I figured out that the main character like leaves or dies. So I was like, I don't want to watch it anymore. His name is Colin. Can't think of his last name. No, Cillian Murphy. That's his name. Cillian Murphy. So Batman Begins, he was Scarecrow.
Oh, okay.
That's Cillian Murphy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I knew I need to give you a reference and be like who this guy is.
So
yeah.
he like left the show or what?
Yeah, like apparently he wanted to leave, so like he let his character die. It's a gangster movie like from the early 1900s, but it's in like London, and they're gangsters like running racketeering. You know, that's what I read the synopsis. You know, got to corner the market. Then the fuzz is after them, all the bobbies, all the English police.
What's that one with Shia LaBeouf and Channing Tatum? I think it's Lawless is what it is.
Yeah, Lawless.
That's a very good movie.
Is it? It's not. It's Tom Hardy.
Yeah. You're right.
Tom Hardy.
You're right. Yeah.
That's a good movie as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like that movie.
Now you got me thinking about other movies that are coming out that same kind of genre. I don't know. Anything new at the theater coming out that's worth anything? And don't tell me no Space Jam 2.
No. They're having some Wednesday. My daughter's all into anime, so
Cool.
there's an anime. It's called My Hero Academia. It's pretty popular among anime fans. But they're having a guy that voices one of the main characters in there. He's actually coming over to watch. They're having like a special presentation, and he's having like a Q&A and all, like a meet and greet.
Where about?
Here in Lockhart at the theater.
Oh, at the theater. Okay.
Yeah. So, I had told her, and she was like, "Oh, really?" So, probably gonna take her over there on Wednesday. Go check that out.
All right, nice.
Yep.
All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all watching. If y'all enjoying the show, hit the buttons. Y'all know which buttons they are. Like in that bell down there, let you know when we post. Trying to think. I did say we're gonna take off next week. Yes, I said that in the beginning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're gonna take off next week, and just recharge, get some other things going off the scene or out of the camera's view. And trying to think of missing anything. Follow the money. Follow the money.
Do we buy the dip?
Follow the money. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. I'm off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. Let's go.